Another kind of tough one for you guys. Can you share with the viewers some of the lessons you've learned over the years, or any aha moments for managing this global training program? David, do you want to take that one?
Yeah. You need to be really clear about what your objectives are, of course, and also that an effective program which is spanning multiple countries and languages, it does require a certain amount of time resource to ensure that it's developing and being implemented to the standard that you're working for. I find it a little interesting because the initial training block for new employees, I don't want to say set and forget, but it's pretty close to that. But the actual phishing, the campaigns, the follow-up, particularly now that that senior leadership is well versed as to the threats that it represents to business. This is something that we do put a lot of time and effort into it. So when you are developing your program, make sure that operationally you're putting the resources to ensure that it maintains or even enhances the standard that you're looking for, which is to train the people. We've recognized that we've got top rate firewalls and email filters and spam detectors and all that, but if you don't train the people, if they're not able to recognize it, you're always going to have that vulnerability to your business continuity.
Yeah, absolutely. Dan, any tips for the viewers?
Yeah, I think one of the big things that we've learned over the last 2 to 3 years is the benefit of having consistent content delivered globally, that you can create a baseline with all of your employees, all of your contractors globally through that computer-based training, and you have a way to track the completion of the training, and kind of ensuring then that everyone's getting that common baseline to start with. And then the fact that it's really important to balance that with facilitator-led training in the regions and the markets, where you can then expand on the topics and make the training be a little bit more relevant to the people in that location, or based on their job role. So it's really probably the importance of doing both, and doing them both in a way that complements and supports each other. So obviously we're still learning about that, how to do that effectively, but I think we've made a lot of good progress and being more effective in achieving that good balance. And then part of that too is, we talked about this earlier, that people just respond to content differently, right? Not just because of cultural differences, but because of how they learn. So it's really, I'm a real strong believer in repetition of the same topics and kind of the same information, but covering it a little bit different way and maybe a little bit different format, just to reinforce that learning over time and to accommodate the different learning styles.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Go ahead, David.
I was going to say there's one other point as far as the aha or lessons learned. I touched on it very lightly previously, but we tracked this in 2018 and again in 2019, where across each quarter we're seeing it'll float a little bit, somewhere between the 4.5%, 5.5 percentile click rate in Qs 1, 2, and 3. But in Q4, I've always gone with a courier-based notification, or your package is lost, something of that nature. And my click rates have consistently across 2 years now jumped up in that quarter to 10, 11 or higher percentile. So for us, we are changing our Q3 and Q4 training and instructions to focus on this clear vulnerability that's been brought forward. And I'll be interested in seeing what our numbers look like in January when I wrap everything up for the Q4 testing.
New episodes of Cyberwork are available every Monday at 1 p.m. Central. And don't forget to claim your free month of Infosec skills. Sign up using the code CYBERWORK and you'll get unlimited access to hundreds of courses, hands-on labs, certification practice exams, skills assessments, and more. Use code CYBERWORK for Infosec skills.